Hello, today we're going to talk about sources of information when we're looking at research. So we need to be really careful about the kind of research that we're looking, the kind of places we find our information, and the kind of thinking that we do when we write down and read our information. So here are some of the things that we need to think about. So first of all, do we have a variety of sources? Now, in some subjects, this matters more than others. It's generally considered to be stronger if you have different types of sources. That might be an article or a section from books. It could be a newspaper article, magazines, websites and different kinds of websites, videos, TV programs, talking to experts in person, over the phone or by email. Now, we also need to talk about the different types of websites. So we might have a variety of different information from websites. And when we look at this, it's really important that if we're using websites, we get our information from the right place. If you are a Theberton student, you should try the library catalogue, which is linked on the Weebly that I've linked this video on. But one of the things that you need to be considering is our level of trustworthiness or reliability of our sources, and I'll talk about that a little bit further down. Your next question is, will it answer the question? Are we finding information on the right topic? And this is really important. So you need to check the warning signs. When we are Googling information, we need to check different parts. If we go to, let's pick a different page. I'm on Google here. What shall we look up? Let's look up famous soccer players. Famous. Okay, I've got a few pictures here. All right. So first of all, we can think about, did I type in the best possible keywords? So I typed famous soccer players because I don't know any famous soccer players. Alright, now I can see there's Lionel Messi. Alright, let's go here. Lionel Messi information. Okay. So, first of all, I've got a lot of information here. I can have a look at the title first. Lionel Messi biography. Well, this looks like it's going to be on the right topic. Then I can look at the URL or the web address here. Alright, biographyonline.net. Alright, well that looks to me like it's fairly trustworthy. And I can do a preview of the text. Okay, so I can see here that I can find some information about him. So it looks like this site will be good and will be worth my time. So I always preview this before I click in and read, because if it's not on the right topic, then I can find something pretty clearly. If I go down, alright, again, I've got some other things here. Is this the same one? Alright, but let's look at Lionel Messi Wikipedia. Alright, well, I know that this site is Wikipedia, and that might change something. Alright, so as I go down, biography and facts, Britannica.com, it's got more information there. So before I click on the link, I always make sure that I check the source so that I'm saving time. If you're on a book, a good example to do with reading a book is to check the back, read the blurb or the information on the back, which will tell you what the book is about. Or you can also check and see what the contents and the chapter titles say, and that will help you check whether that book is going to answer your question or not. So you check your titles, subtitles, pictures or captions. Right? Will it answer your questions? Does it have enough information? And ask yourself, is it on the right topic? Okay, now here's where we need to actually check as well. Is the source accurate, and is the information you'll find correct? For example, sorry, that's my alarm. For example, the Australian government websites are usually correct because they are giving information to the people, and well-known, credible or trustworthy magazines are also. And so an example of that would be National Geographic is a very trusted magazine and usually has very good information. Government fact sites like Smart Traveller are usually correct. But if you look at a political party's website, and by that I mean, for example, Labor or Liberal, those websites are not always trustworthy. And the reason is because they really want to get elected, so they might say some things that are not quite true to make themselves look better or to make a different political party look worse. It doesn't mean that you can't check a political party's website, but you should be very careful. And if you're not sure, see your teacher. Some other well-known non-governmental organisations who are called NGOs for short, non-governmental organisation. These are places like World Vision, Red Cross. They are usually trustworthy, and Amnesty International, and they can be trusted usually. Academic information like scientific studies and academic journals are important if you're doing the research project or preparing for university, but the language is often really difficult to understand, so make sure you see a teacher if you need help. It's my suggestion to students that you start with something that's easy to understand. Make sure you, like something that's written nice and clearly, make sure you think you've got a bit of an understanding before you try and read an academic article. Again, ask a teacher if you need help. Sites like Wikipedia, Yahoo Answers, Ask Jeeves, they're not credible, and Quora is also the same. There's no evidence the answers are correct. You shouldn't use these answers, and if you are in senior years and you use Wikipedia in your bibliography, you will not get the highest possible score. One of the reasons is because I can answer on Wikipedia or Yahoo Answers and I can write something that's completely false. So if we're still talking about Lionel Messi, I can say Lionel Messi is a 43-year-old man who lives in Italy and he is a magazine author. And that's not true, but if you read it on Wikipedia, you might think it is true. The last one we've talked about a little bit already. Is it trustworthy and is there a bias? Now, a bias means that it's written in a type of way that people want you to believe something. For example, we can't always trust people to tell us the truth. Supermarkets always say we have the lowest price, even if it's not true. Why? Because they want you to shop there. So you need to ask yourself as you read, who is the author? What do they want you to think? Why do they want you to think that? So bias is when we use particular words or facts in a way that makes you want to agree. So we're positive or negative about something. For example, Coles has the lowest prices and Woolworths is more expensive. I'm just making an example. That's not true. But that is an example of positive bias for Coles, saying Coles is really good and Woolworths is really bad. As a teacher, I'm biased to education. I think education is one of the most important things a government should spend money on. So anything that I write is always going to be positive about education because I think education is really important. You have biases too. Something that... I need to plug in my laptop. You have biases too, things that you like or dislike, or things that you maybe do want to hear about or you don't want to hear about. There are a lot of topics that are really controversial, that people feel very strongly about and like to argue about, but that doesn't mean that what you're reading is correct. And so you always have to be very careful to find somebody trustworthy to make sure that your information is correct. One of the things that you can find on this website is looking at advice on using Google search. Now, and using keywords to search. These are things that are a bit more for the advice on using Google search is a little bit more of an advanced tool. It helps you work out how best to look for information through Google. For example, by looking for similar things, by making sure words are not included, by making sure quotes are included correctly, and things like that. Well, that's it for sources of information. I hope you have a good rest of your day.